In the Acme Analytics example, you've probably seen the visualization catalog. The visualization catalog is a sample that makes it really easy for an end user to create their own dashboards with a simple point and click. As you probably have experienced, driving adoption for BI and dashboards is difficult, especially if users are expected to create their own dashboards. Anything that you can do to deliver a simple and beautiful experience to drive adoption, like a visualization catalog, will accelerate data-driven decision-making across the organization. The nice thing about this experience is that once the user creates the dashboard view, they can simply give it a name, save it, and then that becomes part of their catalog or potentially your corporate catalog. How does that work? What's happening is using a Reveal library called the SDK DOM on the server, I'm retrieving each individual visualization from all of the dashboards that exist in my server. I'm then listing them with a nice icon in a list view. And when I select a visualization, I'm using the Reveal single visualization viewer to view that visualization. As an organization that wants to provide an easy way for your users to build out experiences like this, you can simply use the SDK DOM, implement a builder in any way that you would like. This is purely a sample. I chose to do a list that is half the size of the page on the left with buttons to click. You might want to add some other UX around how you allow users to create their dashboard. I've put this sample on GitHub, and in the code that you can download from GitHub, it does the exact same thing. You have a single visualization viewer with all of the dashboards that I happen to have on my server. You can add as many visualizations as you would like, as I'm doing here. Since we are in the Reveal editor now, I can resize visualizations, rearrange my dashboard. I can go into edit mode on visualizations and actually change the way this data is bound, but I'm not forced to understand like what is my data schema, doing a new visualization, having to go through that whole experience. One caveat to this is the dashboard creation is client-side code. And what we're doing is we are destroying and recreating this view based on what the user selects from the list. So if I add a new visualization, I'm back to a new visualization with auto sizing set to on, auto layout, because that previous version of it didn't exist. So if you have a user that does this and they're like, oh, this is my beautiful dashboard, I want to add one more thing, and then they add another visualization, it's going to recreate the view every time. Because the client-side DOM library or even the server-side doesn't understand anything about layout. There's no real way to control the layout with any of the libraries. Destroying and recreating is the only way to currently achieve this. So here I have 6 visualizations. Let's call this today's dashboard, and I'll click done. I'll check the box to save it. And then what's going to happen is if I scroll down, these are the marketing analytics visualizations. Let's go to T. We will see today's dashboard. So now those visualizations ended up in the list on the left-hand side. Again, that's application code. It's up to you how it works. If I want to create a new dashboard, I added a custom menu item here for clear reset. So now I've reset the view to go ahead and create something new. I'll highlight in the code what is happening in generateDashboard, which is the function that fires when a plus button is clicked on that list. What we're doing is we're creating an array of visualizations. We're importing those into a new dashboard document, and then we're setting that dashboard document to the Reveal view. If I scroll all the way up to the top, what you're going to notice is that dashboard document is part of the Reveal BI document object model library, which is how we can manipulate the DOM using client-side code. The examples in GitHub are in Angular, React, and plain HTML, so you can use it in any framework that you would like. It doesn't really matter. In the client-side code, in any of these samples, make sure you look at the endpoint I have two endpoints here, localhost for where the Reveal server is running. I have an image URL for where the images are hosted. On the server side, I've provided PNGs and SVGs because if you would like, you can modify the colors of those SVGs to match your theme, your application theme. Also on the server side, I just want to highlight the APIs that I have. There's a save API, which checks to make sure that you're not overwriting an existing visualization. But the key one here is dashboards/visualizations. And this is returning the dashboard file name, the dashboard title, because remember, they can be different, the visualization ID, which is what ends up in the list, along with the chart type and the visualization title. So this information here is what is populating my list here. And again, this is all client-side code. This really has nothing to do with Reveal. The only Reveal piece is we're using that document object model to dynamically build a Reveal dashboard and then putting it inside of the view. On the server side in GitHub, if we look at the GitHub repo, I'll go to the repositories, we'll look at server. You've got Java, Netcore, Node.js, and then Node.js TypeScript for any of the servers that you want to run. And then, of course, on the client, as I mentioned, we have Angular, HTML, and React. As a learning tool, the HTML sample is probably the best one to start with because you can just double-click it and run it. The code is really straightforward, and it'll be easy for you to understand how to integrate this into your own application. So using the power of Reveal, you can build out completely unique experiences, allowing your users to create their own dashboards with simple point and click.